are the Jump Out Girls.
Yes, I'm Tima.
I'm Maine, and we are two girls jumping out of traditional finance using untraditional methods.
Yes.
Yes. And guess what? You got something heavy today, untraditionally.
Yes.
I know nobody's really heard about this.
Today we're going to talk about what's called infinite banking.
Ooh.
Yeah, I honestly, shout out to the Wealth Nation.
Hello, Nation.
Guys. We originally heard about this through them, and essentially it's a concept where you're using whole life policies.
What we've spoke about.
Right, your whole life policies to fund literally your entire life. So I'm saying like from your car insurance to your mortgage payment to your car note to if you have a business, everything is funded through this whole life policy, because essentially what you're becoming is your own bank. That's why it's called infinite banking. You're infinitely banking from yourself.
You explained it in a way that I didn't understand, and I appreciated it.
Okay.
Because I thought it was something different.
What did you think it was?
I don't know. I think I kind of confused. I don't know.
Did you confuse it with velocity?
That's what I was about to say. I think I kind of confused it with velocity banking a little bit.
And
I understood and I understand it, and I understand this, but I didn't know the part about this is where we're getting our money from. This is why we started these whole.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it is easy to confuse those two concepts because there's it's because of the banking term, right? Velocity banking, please refer to our other episode where we just explain what is velocity banking.
Yes.
And essentially that's using like a line of credit to pay off your debt or to pay off something in large sums or
in a short period of time.
Short period of time, right? Or over periods of time.
True.
If you're paying a mortgage. Whereas infinite banking is using what we like to use, which are whole life cash policies.
Yes.
We love whole life cash policies, right? Because you're borrowing from yourself, right?
Yep.
But you're taking it to another level, right? So the concept was originally formed by a guy named Robert Nash. Robert Nash, there's a book. Go get his book, and that's a book I read where I first learned about like how, because I didn't understand when I first learned about it was it's funding your entire life. Like, so that means I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna get one little one little whole life policy and we're good. No, you need multiple or very large sums of whole life policies to fund your lifestyle. And like in the book, he breaks down like how you would borrow from yourself for your insurance, your car insurance. And I was like, what?
Wow.
You would borrow from yourself for your mortgage.
Because it's all put, okay.
Everything that you pay out that you're being funded from a bank is now being funded through your whole life policy.
Come on.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah. And that, like, once you understand that concept.
But this is the kicker. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Once you borrow from yourself, that's the big thing. When people borrow, they get loans and stuff. That payback. Explain that.
Yeah. Good question. Great question. So when you're borrowing from yourself, like Maine just said, and you're taking out what's called a loan, you're taking a loan out against yourself, we highly advise, we don't say must, we highly advise you to pay that loan back. And what you're doing is what he talks about, and what it essentially leads you to is creating assets that will create revenue for you to pay that asset, to pay that loan back, right? So it's just like, imagine if you are a 9-to-5er, right? If you work a 9-to-5, you take a loan out against yourself, you then use your money from your 9-to-5 to pay that loan back, right? But not everybody's different. Everybody, some work a 9-to-5, some are entrepreneurs, some are wantrepreneurs, whatever you want to say. Entrepreneurs, yeah. I want to be. But for me, and I can speak only for me, what it did for me was like, oh, wow. So if I borrow from myself, essentially I want to have assets that can fund this loan back.
Yep.
And the way that I think about that from a bigger scheme and a big grand, a grand spectrum is that, okay, I need assets, multiple assets or multiple streams of income,
Gotcha.
or if it's not multiple streams of income, it's income from assets that will be equivalent to the lifestyle that I want to live, right? And that's not a 9-to-5. You know, nothing against it, but you have your standards, you have what you want. Right. So that part alone, that's just me. When you're thinking about infinite banking, you have to really think about you're never going to a bank again to borrow.
That's the case.
And so just think about it. If you want to go buy a house and that house loan is, let's just say average, let's just say median price loan is $250,000. That means that you need to have a whole life policy that's equivalent to you being able to borrow enough to fund that transaction that originally would go through a bank that you're going to fund yourself.
Through yourself.
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like a lot, but the ending part is even more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The ending, like, it sounds like a tedious process, but the ending of that is where it's at.
Yeah.
To never have to go to a damn bank. Y'all don't understand this. Like, do you not understand? Like, we've spoke about banks before. We've spoke about why it's hard to go into banks to get loans. Let's talk about being black right now. Let's just talk about this one thing that I can't cover up. I'm now putting myself in a position to where I don't have to walk in somewhere and get judged by, we talk about it all the time, by the way I look, by the way I sound, by the way I smell. Hell, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I look like somebody that could have gave that person that's supposed to be giving me a loan that day. Maybe I remind him or her of somebody and now they want to say no. No, none of this.
None of it.
I've been working to put this into my whole life cash policy so I know I can take it out. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's the move. That's the move.
And like another thing too is like you can also use this policy to then create. So say for instance, like you are trying to start that business or you do have a great idea, you still can use this policy to borrow from yourself to then create that asset. And once that asset starts to, because I think, something that we learned too is like you want to have assets, but you also want to create assets that are going to create revenue for you on an ongoing basis, right? So it's like you can use this policy to do that. Make sure that it's creating that revenue for you so that at the end of the day, your profit, once you take out everything is like, oh, wow, like outside of this, I'm making some money.
Exactly. And there's no energy. There's not a lot of energy involved. And that's what we're working towards too. Letting that money, because that's your money now working for you. You work hard, put your damn money to work and make that shit work 10 times harder. That's all it is.
Yes. So again, shout out to the Wealth Nation.
Wealth Nation, we love you guys. Y'all are giving major information, dropping hella gems. Check them out, guys.
Yes, Carmen and Darius, thank you, because I honestly, like when we were researching and we were doing our research on this concept and we were learning more about untraditional ways of building wealth, right? Untraditional ways of becoming wealthier, right? Because you can be wealthy here, but not be wealthy here, right? So we were already wealthy mindset here, just creating more of this, right? And with infinite banking, it definitely creates, it causes you to think in a different manner in the sense of ideas of becoming sovereign. That's another great word. Sovereign in the sense of you don't ever have to worry about anything that is astigmatism, anything that could be used against you in the banking industry. And as we know, the banking industry has their own red tape, as Maine mentioned. So it's nice to know that there are various ways options, around. And it's not an easy process. You have to be disciplined. You have to be determined. You have to follow through. But infinite banking definitely, for example, like we've heard about this issue with Wells Fargo. We won't have to worry about that because you're borrowing from yourself with infinite banking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I like freedom. I like to be able to do what I want, and I don't like to be able to be told no. Yeah. And if I know that I can do and set myself and put myself in a situation to where I can get a guaranteed yes, then why not do it?
Why not?
So guys, check it out.
Yes.
Check out Wealth Nation as well, because they can definitely break it down for you.
Oh, they're going to break it down. Like they're going to tell you, how to set it up. They're going to tell you more details. And they also were in the game too. They also were, both of them, or maybe Carmen, They were in the financial industry. I believe both of them were in the financial industry, and they have a lot more details than we do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So guys, we hope that you all got something from this today. Like, comment, share, subscribe if you have not. We thank you to all of our jumpers, all of our little jumpers.
Yes.
And hit us up on all of our platforms at Jump Out Girls. If you want to email us, email is info@jumpoutgirls, and all of our other platforms, Jump Out Girls, and our website, jumpoutgirls.com.
Yeah. How many platforms do we have?
5.
Okay. So YouTube, Jump Out Girls. TikTok, Jump Out Girls. Instagram, Jump Out Girls. IG, Jump Out Girls. And Twitter, Jump Out Girls.
Yep.
Until next time.
Until next time, guys. We're out.
Peace.